Akala ng ibang media malakas ang ulan kanina. As iba na sa Facebook. And many of them are eager to hear from our speaker and co-panelists. We have today the most, I think the most bemedaled Filipino soldier, at least that I've ever met. Talagang very legendary Colonel Ariel Querubin. And also beside him, we have Undersecretary of Finance, former Professor Cielo Magno. Kamag-anak niya ba yung suki namin, si Professor Alex Magno? Pinsan mo siya. Sayang di ko, sana in-invite natin. Sir, si Alex Magno, Philippine Star columnist and director ng Bank of Commerce. Namit niyo siya? Napakabait yun. Pinsan niya pala yun. Wow. Stan, kaibigan ko yun. Still, we will talk about very important issues here. The most important, of course, the military pension fund. Anong kailangan gawin to reform the system and to make it adequate for everyone. And also, maybe si Colonel Ariel could also comment on some national issues and maybe also the other pension funds na may mga tao nagko-complain din na not enough daw ang SSS and others. I'll introduce each one of them and they will give an opening statement about their stand, their views, about whatever they advocate. And then afterwards, we'll open the floor for questions. People who are watching via Facebook Live, some of the media, and you can message your questions. Si Colonel Ariel Querubin, Colonel Ariel Querubin is originally from Bawang, La Union, but he was born in Dagupan City. His life should be a movie or a novel. He made his way to Baguio to attend Philippine Military Academy and graduated in 1979 Matapat class. He had served the Armed Forces of the Philippines 30 plus years and is considered the most bemedaled Filipino military soldier in our country's history. Alam mo, ang dami niyang medals. I just mentioned a few kasi ang dami, sobrang medals niya. Of course, the most famous medal he has won was the Medal of Valor. Ano siya, the highest military honor for courage. Ano siya, for leading the military operation against 300 Moro Islamic Liberation Front rebels in Lanao del Norte. Plus, Colonel Ariel Querubin has also been given Distinguished Conduct Star, 2 Distinguished Service Star, 7 Gold Cross Medals, 2 Gawad sa Kaunlaran Honors, 2 Bronze Cross Medals, 12 Military Merit Medals. Grabe Dapat may museum na sa inyo kahit a parachutist badge, the Tawid Award, the Cavalier Award for Naval Operations, the Saranay Award, the highest award given by La Union, etc. And of course, he is an expert on military, national defense, peace and order also. Let us ask him also his views on how to continue and even improve peace and order. Let us welcome for his opening statement a true patriot, a living hero, Colonel Ariel Oliva Querubin, for your opening statement. Welcome ulit. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Wilson, Ma'am Cielo. To all the viewers and listeners, I am Colonel Ariel Querubin. I come here before this, shall we say, conference or press conference as a former military officer, I what I have been through, I all my service in this all my life in the service was really devoted in the far flung areas. No, the Marines were deployed first when I reported to the West Philippine Sea, and then the island provinces of Palawan, where there's really, the need for the Marines to be deployed there. Basilan, Tawi-Tawi, Jolo, and Palawan. These are all island provinces at the border. So I come here really to appeal that, as a former soldier, now a pensioner, who has fought all the armed groups in the Philippines in actual combat. No? We don't receive overtime pay. We are always away from our loved ones. And for this, the new proposed bill that will reduce probably or force us to contribute. Well, my point here is I hope they will not, no diminution of this, don't lessen or reduce. Sabi nga nila, yun kasing konting naiiwan pa sa amin, isa-subject pa nila na bawasan, then paano na lang kasi na-program naman na nila lahat yan ng mga pensioners at saka yung nasa active. So if ever, sabi ko, status ko sana kasi naman siya, it is the vested right of the active and the pensioners na ganito yung nangyari na hindi man sila nababawasan. So yun lang po yung aking pakiusap na sana no diminution, no as isa na status ko lahat. And if ever na ituloy nila, sana para na lang sa new entrance. Kasi kung kami, i-separate lang, the military will be treated separately, kaya naman namin hanapan ng solusyon yung panggagalingan nitong pension. Kasi marami hong nakatiwangwang pa na military assets. No? Ang dami ho, all over. Palis lang po nila ito, magkakaroon ho ng recurring income. And kung meron naman na nakatiwangwang, kunwari dyan na properties na wala naman din paggagamitan na hindi pwedeng palis, then pwede naman nilang siguro maibenta yan or what, para naman magkaroon kami ng retirement o yung pension plan na trust fund. So, yun lang po ang pinapakiusap ko sa mga mambabatas natin na sana mabigyan naman nila ng konting pagpapahalaga doon sa ating mga kasundaluhan, mga men in uniform, nasa active man o pensioner. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Colonel Ariel Corubin, for voicing the request of retirees. Before we go to the opening statement of USEC, how many retirees para lahat?
I heard a while ago there are around 250 retirees, no? Pensioners.
Thank you very much, Colonel Ariel.
250,000 rather.
250,000, yes. Thank you very much, Colonel Ariel Kerubin. Now we'd like to invite for her opening statement a very young Undersecretary of Finance, former professor of UP, and also former student council, narinig ko lang kanina, of the UP Student Council, Undersecretary Dr. Cielo D. Magno is the Undersecretary overseeing the fiscal policy and monitoring group of the Department of Finance, who is responsible for recommending fiscal policies, formulating tax reform proposals, as well as forecasting and programming national government revenues. That's why maganda nandito makinig siya sa appeal of Colonel Ariel Quirubin. She is also the focal point person for the Philippine Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. Parang napaka-technical term. And chairperson of the Fiscal Incentives Review Board, Technical Committee, and also the Interagency Investment Promotion Coordination Technical Committee. She is Associate Professor in UP School of Economics, more than 20 years of research and policy work. She is also member of the International Board of Extractive Industries Transparency. She completed her master's degree in economics at UP and PhD in law from Northeastern University in Boston. Let us welcome for her opening statement, Yusek Cielo D. Magno.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Unang-una po, nagpapasalamat ako sa opportunity na to. Isa rin po ako sa mga fan ni Colonel Quirubin. Kaya it's an honor to be sitting next to him and actually discussing the issue of related to the military and uniform pension plan. Ang sa atin nga po ay dahil po si Colonel Quirubin yung katabi natin dito, naniniwala tayo na maybe at the end of this conversation, we might actually find a solution that would promote the military interest and also public interest. Kaya po, tinake advantage natin yung opportunity na to na pag-usapan itong mga concerns na to. Nabanggit din po na sa side po ng Department of Finance, Department of Budget and Management at ang ating Bureau of Treasury, nag-ikot na rin po kami at nakipag-dialogo sa military and uniformed personnel. We had 30 road shows para po talagang maging bukas yung usapan dahil naniniwala po tayo na talaga namang maaaring hanapan ng solusyon itong problema na to. Nailatag po ni Colonel Quirubin yung concerns ng mga military. Sa side naman po natin, sa fiscal side, ang pinaka-concern po talaga natin ay yung impact ng kasalukuyang gastusin ng gobyerno sa pensyon ng ating mga military and uniform personnel. At ang hinahanapan natin ng solusyon ay yung medyo sustainable approach. Kasi kung patuloy po na sasalalay sa annual na budget ng gobyerno, yung pang-cover ng ating pensyon, dumarating po talaga sa punto na minsan hindi rin nare-release on time yung mga retirement benefits ng ating military and uniform personnel. Dahil din po before COVID, magandang ating fiscal position. Dahil nagka-COVID, lumaki yung gastos ng gobyerno. Medyo malaki po yung utang ng gobyerno. Kaya malaki din po yung pressure on the side of the Department of Finance to raise additional revenue para mapaliit itong utang na to. Dahil hindi naman po natin pwedeng i-abandona yung mga obligasyon ng pamahalaan. Kaya po kasama sa mga reformang tinitingnan ay itong military and uniform personnel pension program. Halimbawa po for 2023, medyo malaki na rin po kasi yung gastos with respect to pension, ito po ay umaabot ng 140 billion. Ang isa pa pong inaalala nating consequence nitong papalaking gastos sa pension ay yung impact sa budget ng military and uniform personnel. Dahil simula po 2019, makikita po natin na mas malaki na ang budget na na-allocate para sa pension kumpara sa operating expense and capital expense ng military and uniformed personnel. And this might have consequences din po sa capacity natin to modernize our military and to respond to the needs of the active members of the military, lalo na po kung in the long run, makikita pa po natin to na mapalaki. So ito po yung mga very specific concerns na hinahanapan talaga natin ng ng solusyon. At naramdaman naman po natin na sa pag-iikot natin, may willingness din naman po sa side ng military and uniform personnel na tumulong para solusyonan itong mga concerns na to on the fiscal side. Kaya excited po ako dito talaga makasama si Colonel Querubin. Magandang umaga po.
Thank you very much. May tanong dito na pinadala sa Zoom. At may tanong dito from Daily Tribune columnist, Mr. Paulo Flores. Sabi niya, nasa Facebook siya, hello to Colonel Querubin and Yusek. With regards to the military pension, why is it that the government wants it to be reduced when in fact there are other government officials and personalities like the judges and appointed commissioners receiving 100% upon their retirement? Paulo Flores, columnist of Daily Tribune, watching via Facebook. Yes.
Unahin ko na po. I think this is also very important to be clarified. Hindi po natin nire-reduce yung pension. Hindi rin po natin binabago yung benefits. I think ito po yung isa sa mga pangunahing agam-agam. Kasi old versions, old proposals po ang lumalabas ay kapag nag-early retirement ka, makukuha mo lang yung benefit mo at the age of 57. That was an old proposal. Sa kasalukuyan pong proposal na at dulot na rin po ng pag-iikot ito at bukas na conversation sa mga different stakeholders ng military and uniform personnel. Wala po tayong babaguhin dun sa pension. In fact po sa military, itataas pa natin dahil ngayon, ang maximum pension that they can get is 85% of their base pay and the long pay. Ang gagawin po natin ay 90%. Pare-parehas na po across the board ng military and uniform personnel. Yun pong mga benefits na nakukuha natin ngayon from retirement, pati yung sistema ng early retirement, parehas na rin po. Wala rin po tayong binabago doon. So, I think napaka-importante pong linawin yun dahil yun yata yung nagiging basehan ng early retirement application ng maraming military and uniform personnel. So ang hinahanapan lang po talaga natin ng solusyon ay kung saan kukuhanin at sisiguraduhin laging may pondo yung pensyon ng ating military and uniform personnel. And tama po, may ganun din pong sistema sa ating judicial system at pinag-aaralan din po natin yan. Thank you po.
Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat po, ma'am. Napakagandang pakinggan at sa sinabi po ninyo, magkakaroon pa po ako ng differential pala. Thank you.
Good news yan.
Sir. Yeah, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Paki-introduce yourself.
Magandang umaga po, Colonel and Yusek. Michael Rogas po from Radyo Pilipinas. Unahin ko lamang po yung binanggit ni Yusek Cielo. Ma'am, sinasabi po ninyo hindi nyo naman i-reduce or babawasan yung pensyon ng ating mga sundalo. Ano po yung, o saan po nagmula yung ganitong issue na bakit merong pong nangyayari ngayon na agam-agam na babawasan yung pensyon ng ating pong mga sundalo?
Actually, from previous proposals po, wala naman talagang naging suggestion na bawasan ang pensyon. Meron lang pong tatlong elemento kasi tatlong components po yung issue na to. Yung isa po ay yung contribution. So ang sinasuggest po natin from the economic team ay magkaroon na ng mandatory contribution mula sa new members, sa new recruits yung papasok at sana po dun sa sa mga active personnel ngayon. Mamaya po papaliwanag ko kung bakit. Yung pangalawa pong proposal ay sa kasalukuyan po pag nag-retire kasi merong one rank higher. So kung tama po ba sir, kapag nag-retire as colonel, you get one rank higher, your benefits would be at the level of a general. That's the second. And yung third na concern din po, yun yung sinasabi ni sir na may salary differential. Kasi meron po tayo ngayon sistema ng indexation. So kapag halimbawa po, so nag-retire kayo general level, pag nagkaroon ng increase ng salary sa current generals, si general po na nag-retire, tataas din yung pension niya in the same level as the current. So yun po yung tinatawag nating indexation. Sa mga current proposals po natin, ang hinihiling din po sana natin ay mawala yung indexation. Hindi po sa mga retired kung hindi sa mga active, yung magre-retire pa lang at saka sa mga new recruits. Kasi medyo malaki po yung impact nung indexation eh. Halimbawa po noong 2018, nung tinaas ni Pangulong Duterte ang sweldo ng ating military and uniform personnel. Ang naging impact po nun sa budget ng gobyerno ay karagdagang halos sa abot sa 35 billion pesos na hindi pa nababayaran ng buo ng pamahalaan dahil medyo masikip ang ating ano. So ganun po yung implication nun. At yung second na punto rin po is recognizing na mas magandang paghiwalayin ang pagde-decide kung kailangan itaas ang sweldo ng active at kung kailangan i-adjust yung pension. Kasi iba po yung pangangailangan ng nasa active service and makakwento po yan ni Colonel Kerubin. Iba din po yung pangangailangan kapag retired na. Parehas po yan kailangan i-adjust along the way. Kasi inflation, economic situation, pero iba po yung determinants. Halimbawa po, kung nasa active service ka, pinapadala natin sila sa gyera, pinagbabantay natin sila sa West Philippine Sea, gusto natin na mas responsive ang pag-adjust ng benefits and base pay ng active personnel. Ngayon po, kasi kung magkadugtong yan, mahirap sa side ng economic team na itataas ba natin. Kung ang tinututukan lang natin ay yung 400,000 active members, ang iisipin mo na ngayon, yung economic impact, pag tinaas mo yung sweldo ng 400,000 plus the pension. So yun po yung tatlong issues na nire-raise. Pero in those three instances, wala pong situation na kung saan bababa yung pension benefits.
Apo.
Parehas pa rin.
Meaning to say, sa ngayon, ang pinagkukunan ng pension ng ating mga sundalo sa regular budget. Tama po ba?
Yes po.
Sa ating GAA.
Yes, sa GAA po yun taon-taon.
Hindi kagaya ng mga teachers at ng ibang mga government agency, meron silang GSIS na pinagkukunan. Tama po ba yun?
Tama po yun. Pero historically po, tama po ba sir? Before po, yung sa military and uniform personnel natin, yung originally po nasa GSIS sila and then eventually, I think, nung time po ba ni Ramos yun? Nagkaroon tayo ng RSBS?
Yung RSBS kasi.
Yes.
Nagka-problema yun.
Yeah,
Noon.
yun dapat na mag-aayos ng retirement na pension namin sana. Kaya lang it was really mismanaged. That's why kung meron man nito na lalabas, sabihin natin, GSIs for example, ang mag-handle, sana separate yung pag-handle ng yung military pension trust fund.
Sa hanay po ng retired military ho natin, are you in favor doon po sa tatlong mungkahin na yon ng USEC, ng DOF? Number one is yung magkaroon kayo yung parang GSIS. Pangalawa is yung kung ano yung inyong rango ngayon, pagka nagretiro kayo, yun na lang, tanggalin na ho natin yung one rank higher after your retirement. Kayo po, payag po ba kayo doon?
Yun yung kaninang opening statement ko na sana status quo. Kaya nga ina-appeal ako kasi ano naman to, no? Lahat naman through consultation kasi at I'm very sure na later on magkakaroon naman ng consensus among the nagdi-deliberate, maybe in Congress or so. Sa akin, ina-appeal ko pa rin lang na sana status quo.
Okay. Last two question on my part, ano po? Kay Yusek. Yusek, yung pong binabagit ni 35 billion, yung ika nga po ay inilalaan ng gobyerno taon-taon.
140 billion po
sorry.
yung for the 2023 budget. Yung 34 billion po, yung naging dagdag lang po yun.
For this year.
Nung increase nung 2018
Okay.
na binabayaran pa rin po ng partial ng government.
Apo. Yung pong mungkahin ni retired Colonel Kerubin, makakatulong po ba yun? Yung paupahan na lang natin yung ating po mga properties, especially mga military. And kung po pwede, meron na po ba tayong mga identified property na po pwede nating paupahan?
Siguro pabalikan ko yung mga binanggit ni Colonel Kerubin. Nabanggit po niya they're open sa new entrants for this reform. Tama po sir, yung contribution. I think that will be a very big help kasi ang ibig sabihin po nun, para sa mga new entrants, meron na silang trust fund. Pag nag-retire sila, hindi na natin yun kukuhanin sa GAA. But that would be not until 20 years when they retire, right? Kung okay din po si Sir dun sa removal ng indexation for the new entrants, that's huge po. But ang suggestion po natin yung sa indexation, we are going to keep it po as a compromise for the retired already, the ones that are receiving pension. Katulad nga po na sinabi ni Colonel Kerubin, that's their vested rights already. But yung binabargain namin, yung contribution sana and yung indexation for the active personnel, baka pwede pa nating masahihin. Kasi ang impact po nun, so we have 140 billion every year. Pag ang estimate po ng GSIS, kasi estimate na po natin, pumasok na sila, magkano ang ina-expect nating pension nila over the years? Liability na po ito ng gobyerno. Sa huling estimate po, using 2019 data, that's 9.6 trillion. Ngayon po, using 2022 data, that's already 14 trillion. So ito po yung utang na kailangan bayaran ng gobyerno. Yung appeal po namin, kaya sana kung maaaring tanggalin na yung indexation for the active when they retire, at magkaroon po, magsimula na rin po tayo ng contribution, ay paliitin itong 14 trillion liability. Dahil pag nasimulan po natin yon, liliit din po yung pagkakautang ng gobyerno at liliit din po yung annual na ini-earmark natin na ngayon 140 billion.
Okay, thank you so much po. Mamaya po may makaragdagan tanong pa po ako. Ibibigay ko rin po muna sa mga kasamahan ko. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maganda yung boses niya sa radyo. Would like to acknowledge para our suki dito, si Colonel Alejandro Flores, retired colonel, na kasama daw kayo before Indano, kilala kayo. Parehong colonel, retired. Central Luzon daw kayo magkasama.
Yeah, we were together in Central Luzon during the early 80s.
Wow.
Alam ni Sir kung
Tumutulong daw kayo sa kanila
Yes.
when they were in the field.
yeah, kasi kami yung mga operators, kami yung naglalakad.
Sila daw tumutulong.
Sila Sir naman na nagpo-provide sa amin ng mga information.
Thank you. Mayroon tayong isang tanong business world nandun din sa Facebook kasi kanina malakas ang ulan. Mr. Bienvenido, andali Larissa. Ayun, andali kunin ko lang yung full name kasi hindi binigay ni Larissa. 1 second. Dali lang. May tanong taga Business World, columnist also, Mr. Bienvenido Nonoy Oplas Jr. Magaling na columnist ng Business World, Mr. Bienvenido Oplas Jr. Ang tanong niya new question. From 2016 to 2022, he appreciates your public service and courage now, Colonel Kerubin. May tanong siya, from 2016 to 2012, the debt burden increased from 64,000 to 124,000, while the military and police pension burden rose. Ay, nawala. Nawala. The military and police pension burden rose from 585 pesos to 1,470 pesos. Their pensions, maintenance, and other operating expenditures, plus capital outlay burden, such as the purchase of new tanks and helicopters, doubled to 2,600 pesos. Yun ang isang comment ninyong dalawa. Mayroon pa siya may pa siya dito. Sabi niya, tanong ni Mr. Why reduce the MUP pension reform? Because it's, ayun. Mayroon pa ibang.
Ano po yung posisyon niya? Dapat hindi i-reduce?
Hindi ko alam.
Kasi kung dapat
hindi reduce yata.
Hindi i-reduce, kasama ko yan. Si Ma'am Shelo siguro sasagot.
Yes, sasagot. Yes.
Opo, katulad po ng nabanggit ko, wala naman nga pong magiging reduction sa pension, sa benefits, parehas pa rin po. Even sa timing kung kailan natin matatanggap yung benefits, parehas pa rin po. In fact, baka mas maging mabilis kapag under GSIS. Kasi ang GSIS processing ng retirement after 1 month, you already receive your pension. Ngayon po medyo matagal pagka sa government nag-retire kasi kailangan mong ilagay yan sa budget eh. So if you retire this year at wala sa budget yung retirement mo, hintay nga muna ng 1 taon para masama sa GAA. So yun po, yung kanina pala nabanggit din natin yung tungkol sa assets ng military. Bukas po tayo doon. And I think nandun po yung opportunity doon sa contribution. Kasi nung nag-ikot po kami, in-express din naman po ng mga nakausap natin, yung willingness to contribute. Ang question na lang po ay yung burden. Kung gaano nga ba kalaki yung ililiit sa sweldo, kung 9% yung i-contribute. Kaya yung unang suggestion po natin, sige po, wag muna 9%, 5% muna, and then 7%. And then the military offered the assets of the military nga po na baka maaaring gamitin. So maybe pag nakuha po natin yung listahan na to, nakita natin kung magkano yung potential na kikitain from these assets, yun po yung gagamitin natin to adjust the possible contribution of the active military and uniform personnel. But sa kasalukuyan po, wala pa po kaming nakukuhang listahan from the DND. Kaya hindi po natin ma-adjust yung suggestion. Kaya doon po kami bumabalik doon sa actuarial computation na ang kailangan po talaga to have a sustainable fund ay 21% contribution. So 9% from the military and 12% from government. And I think this is also a significant difference kasi po, katulad ng binanggit ni Colonel Carubin, before there's RSBS and before they were members of the GSIS. So, hindi na rin po bago yung usapin ng contribution dahil at that time they were also contributing. In fact po, ang naging kahinaan din ng RSBS ay nung nagko-contribute sila sa RSBS, walang government counterpart. It all came from the contribution of the military and that's what we're also trying to change now. That if the military will contribute, the government as the employer of the military and uniform personnel should also contribute and will in fact contributing more. Similar to our GSIS na 12% from the government and 9% from the member. Yun lang.
Thank you, Yusek. Ito naman, Daily Tribune columnist Paulo Flores. Parang sinusupport din niya si Colonel Quirubin sa appeal niya. Kasi ang tanong niya, follow-up, maybe the government should be more strict in monitoring and collecting taxes from private individuals and big companies to have more funds po instead of reducing the pension benefits of the soldiers daw yata. Anong comment ninyong dalawa?
I fully agree with him. Sana naman very efficient ba yung mga collection natin ng mga taxes kasi sa totoo lang, alam din natin na 30% goes to corruption really. So dapat maayos din sana lahat ito para naman yung mga sundalo, mga men in uniform natin, maintindihan nila na kung talagang ang pangangailangan ng gobyerno iayos ito, dapat meron din sanang ginagawa tayo doon sa mga bagay-bagay na gano'n. Inefficient na collection ng taxes at tapos may corruption.
Comment ni Yusek dun sa tanong ni Paulo Flores na sinagot ni Colonel Ariel Quirubin. Paulo Flores is columnist of Daily Tribune newspaper.
No, I agree po. Kailangan nating i-improve at taasan ng ating tax collection. Ako po yung unang-unang matutuwa kung tataas ang ating tax collection. Ini-improve din po natin yung tax administration ng BIR. Ngayon po kasalukuyan pinupursue natin ang complete computerization nito para maiwasan na yung interaction ng taxpayers and then ng ating tax administrators. Yun po, sa isang banda po, ginagawa ito ng gobyerno sapagkat kailangan talaga nating pataasan ng ating revenue para mabawasan ang ating mga utang. Pero babalik pa rin po tayo dun sa usapin na kailangan maging sustainable yung pension. Hindi lamang po ito dahil gusto nating bawasan yung budget na ini-earmark ng government sa pension natin. But we want to make sure that when they retire, we have money to fund their pension. Hindi po katulad ngayon na medyo masikip ang budget ng gobyerno. Ilang taon na rin po, may mga arrears po ang government sa pag-release ng mga pensyon ng ating military and uniform personnel. Many reasons kung bakit may arrears, kailangan pang i-audit ng COA, kailangan i-double check, but at the same time, pumapasok po doon yung isang aspeto na medyo masikip talaga yung ating fiscal space. And we don't want to put our military and the uniform personnel in a situation na kailangan talagang mabawasan yung pension dahil walang pera yung gobyerno. Kaya yun po yung talagang tinatry nating isolve. Na when you retire, you get the guaranteed what government promised you to receive. Yun po
Yusek,
yan.
ano po yung impact sa ating pong economic or sa ating budget kung sakaling hindi natin tatanggalin sa annual budget yung pong pondo ng mga retired military personnel po natin?
Well, magiging pataas po ito ng pataas. Katulad po nung binanggit ko kanina sa total budget na 560 billion, 500 plus billion, ay 200 something billion, 250 billion, 140 po nito napupunta na sa pension. So kung magkakaroon tayo ng sustainable pension program, hindi na po sa BGA ito mapupunta. That means the total budget that we are allocating for the military can be used to support the active and to support their modernization and to purchase the equipment that the military and the uniform personnel need to do their work. Kung hindi po natin ito tatanggalin, ganun po, kakain ng kakain sa ating GAA, yung ating pension expenditure. Hindi naman po natin pwedeng dagdagan ng dagdagan kasi meron po tayong mga constitutionally mandated spending. Halimbawa, education, it has to be the top in terms of budget. So, kung yun po yung threshold natin, mas maganda po sana with respect to fiscal management na hindi na natin inaalala kung saan natin kukuhanin ang pondo para sa pension. Katulad ng sa GSIS at SSS members natin.
Colonel, kayo po, pabor ba kayo na magkaroon ulit na RSBS, ang AFP?
Bago or better?
Well, hindi siguro RSBS ang tawag, pero yun nga, no? Willing naman sila na magkaroon ng separate GSIS, kung GSIS, pero separate trust fund na ima-manage. Kasi after all, sabi ko nga, sana any proposal for the pension plan, no, should be always be fair, transparent, and consultative. Kasi nitong huli, nagulat na lang kami lahat kasi we were hindi man napakinggan yung mga retirees. Siguro yung mga nasa active dahil umikot na nga naman sila, pero yung mga retirees kasi, they were not consulted.
Okay.
May tanong pa dito sa mga taga-Facebook na mga journalists. Colonel Ariel daw, anong comment niyo sa public statement ni Defense Secretary Kipot Teodoro about the military pension na wag daw pahirapan yata sundalo?
I fully agree with him. Kasi nag-uusap naman din kami, no, about this na ang sinasabi nga niya na paki-explain lang sa active members ng armed forces and mga pensioners na the president really is after their welfare. So I don't know how to kung paano nila gagawin na the president guys after their welfare. Pero ang nasa isip ko, yun lang naman paraan na masabi na the government is really after the welfare of the men in uniform, no? Yung posisyon ni Secretary Teodoro.
May follow-up pa. May nagtanong dito, Colonel Ariel Kerubin, based on your life story and biodata, you have become successful as a retiree, as a consultant in the private sector. Bakit kayo concerned about the military pension funds for the soldiers? May personal story ba kayo when you were officer? Did you see soldiers die beside you? Did you see widows? Bakit kayo passionate about this issue now? Na you are comfortable kasi your children are nag-graduate na, most of them are okay na. Why are you passionate about this issue?
Yeah, that's very true po kasi I had an experience ng yung mga namatay ba,
Ilan ho namatay beside you that you saw when you were an officer?
yeah, when I earned that Medal for Valor award in Kauswagan, ang casualties ko po, 7 yung namatay, more than 40 yung mga, yung injure. And yung 2 po na namatay were beside me, no? At ang hirap pong matanggap na sabi ko nga, yung kapiranggot na benefits na makuha nila doon sa pagkamatay nung mga asawa nila, nagkulang po talaga. Kahit na sa pagpaaral lang ng mga anak. Kasi at that time, isa lang po yung pwedeng pag-aralin ng Armed Forces. But this time, through ganito rin, apela sa kanila, paglalabi, ngayon po lahat ng anak nila, scholars na. Maganda po yun. In fact, even sa lahat ng ginagawa ko ngayon, inaalay ko nga even yung kapiranggot na kinikita ko para lang matulungan yung mga dependents na mga soldiers who died in combat. Who died in combat? Kasi alam naman ho natin, hindi ho sila handa nung nangyari na namatay yung mga asawa nila. Yeah, mga bata pa sila. Mahirap pong ganun ko kapassionate ba na mag-apila para sa kanila kasi nakita ko rin yung buhay nila. Maganda yung kinalalagyan ko ngayon. Pero sabi ko nga, pag dumarating ngayong sitwasyon na ganito, I have to step up. I have to leave my comfort zone for a higher calling. Kung itong panawagan sa mga mambabatas natin na sana wag naman ng kaltasan o para status quo. Kung ano yung meron ngayon, ganun pa rin. Yun na lang po. Kung talagang kailangan natin, yung mga new entrants. Kasi dati na kaming nagko-contribute. That's really true. Sa GSIS, RSBS. So, ako po, pag sinabi mong yung kapakanan, itong mga retirees, mga nasa active, pwede na naman po akong tumayo para lumaban para sa kanila.
Sir, may nagtanong din. You are passionate about military pension. Pero marami daw, may nagsabi dito, journalist, marami nagko-comment na in general, the pension system of the Philippines, including SSS and others daw, very small daw for old people and seniors in the Philippines. May narinig ba kayong mga ganyan comments? Not itong administration, but through the decades daw. Maliit daw, kawawa daw. Totoo ba yan? What is your comment?
Wala po akong mai-comment na pero yun nga, sabi ko, bakit naman nagsisiruin sila sa military? Samantalang may mga pension plans naman, yung mga teachers, may pension plan yung mga ibang professionals. So, the government must at least, siguro, tignan din naman nila itong mga to. At yung katanungan, kung may alam ako, honestly, wala po akong alam sa mga pension plans ng ibang professions.
Yes, magko-comment si Yusek.
Bilang government employee, nag-agree ako.
Nag-agree kayo? Kasi GSIS kayo,
Yes,
you are a professor at UP and now talagang anong ideal amount compared to what is now?
Based po sa average pension, no?
Hindi enough.
Like for example po sa GSIS, ang ating average pension ay nasa 13,600 a month. Sa SSS,
For retirees.
yes po. Sa SSS po mas mababa. Ito po ay around 4,500 a month. Sa military po
For
around
seniors.
40,000 a month
Yes.
ang pension na natatanggap. Pero ganun pa rin po ibabalik po natin sa ganitong usapin. Kasi po ang pension natin, like for example sa military, nakabatay po ito sa base pay at saka sa long pay. Percentage po yun nung base pay at long pay. Yung problema po natin sa pagkakagastusan ng pensyon ay hindi lamang nagsimula sa administrasyon na to. Matagal na po itong usapin, panahon pa po ni President Ramos, pinag-uusapan na to. Nung panahon po, at ang kadalasan pong nagiging strategiya, katulad nung panahon ni President Aquino, instead of adjusting the base pay, to compensate for the active personnel, ang tinataasan po natin ay yung benefits. Okay? So ang in effect po, ang ating take home, mas mataas because we have the benefits. At yun na rin po yung isang way around to avoid yung kinukwento ko kanina na indexation issue. Because if you adjust the base pay, tataas yung pension din ng ano. But to manage the fiscal side, hey, hindi yung base pay yung i-adjust natin, yung benefits. But in the long run, if we continue with the status quo, ang benefits po hindi counted sa pension. So yung yung base pay mo, bahagya lang ang adjustment niyan kasi ima-manage. So pag nag-retire ka, yung pension mo, hindi rin magiging ganun kalaki kasi porsyento to ng base pay mo eh. Mas maganda po sana na kung meron tayong sustainable pension system, hindi mag-aagam-agam ang gobyerno na i-adjust yung base pay ng ating military. At matatanggap nila kung ano ba yung karapat-dapat at deserve nilang bayad sa serbisyo na ginagawa natin para sa atin, sa taong bayan. So isa din po yun sa mga consequences of the current system that we have.
Yeah, napakaganda hong pakinggan yon. At totoo yun, kung itataas ho yung mga, lalakihan mo yung mga benefits and privileges, no? Magko-compensate din yon. Tama ho yun kasi sa totoo lang parang hindi yata tinatax din yon. No, okay lang. Marami ho kasing entitlement dapat yung mga sundalo natin para mas senior citizens, di ba? Sana kung matuloy yun, isa rin ho na welcome sa mga men in uniform natin.
May tanong and comment din si columnist Bienvenido Nonoy Oplas Jr. of Business World. Pension funds by MUPs funded by taxes, pension benefits by other government civilian personnel are not funded by taxes. There seems to be a double standard daw among government panang benefits. Tanong ni Mr. Bienvenido Oplas Jr. of Business World. Comment ni Yusek. Is it an anomaly? Kailangan ba palitan yan? Mr. Oplas.
Yun po yung tinatry nating ayusan ngayon. Katulad po nung binanggit ko kanina under GSIS and SSS, yung pondo po na sumusuporta sa pension ng mga pensioners dito nanggagaling sa contribution ng mga workers at ng kanilang employer. So yun din po yung, dati naman po ganun ang sistema natin sa military and uniform personnel. Nagkaroon lang po ng challenges along the way. So what we're trying to do would be, yes, right now it's fully funded by the national government, but what we're trying to do would be to set up the same mechanism to ensure that there's also sustainability with respect to their retirement fund. So doon po papunta yung ating reforma.
Thank you very much. May tanong pa dito. Kay Colonel Ariel Kirubin, since you are a very respected soldier and officer, na before people were looking up to you to be the crime czar, anti-crime czar, anong ideas ninyo on how to improve peace and order in the Philippines? Especially, there are predictions, we will ask you second totoo yan. There are predictions the economy of the world, including the Philippines, is not very bright for this year. Baka peace and order might deteriorate. Anong suggestions or ideas ninyo, Colonel Ariel, to improve the peace and order of the Philippines?
Well, pag pinag-uusapan natin yung peace and order, no, I always, kasi with what I've been through, the antidote to insurgency, yan naman ang number one natin na problema ngayon. The antidote to insurgency and violent extremism is, of course, good governance. No? Aided by a well-disciplined men in uniform. No military abuses, no police brutality. Pagka nagkaroon tayo ng ganito na atmosphere kasi, even yung pagprogreso natin, mas mabilis, no? Pagpunta mo kunwari sa mga areas na kung saan ako na-destino, paano ka dadalaw? Ang gaganda ng mga beaches, no? Pero paano ka dadalaw doon kung may mga Abu Sayyaf dyan, may mga terorista pa rin na gumagalaw.
Ganda daw ang Sulu? Parang Boracay daw?
Yes, yung kung saan ako na-destino noon sa Patikul, Sulu. Tawag nila Igasan, no? Pero
grabe.
Quezon Beach, ang ganda niyan. A very strong, a very long stretch pa ng very nice sand na talo pa yung Boracay.
Talo pa Boracay. Wow. Si Yusek, is it true the economy is not very good shape now? Kasi not only Philippines, but the world is not, and what are your forecasts? Is it going to be the
Kalimutan
same?
ko po yung aking bolang kristal.
Yes. Mahirap yata pag...
Tama po, this is not unique din naman po sa Philippines yung pag-slowdown ng economic growth. This is a global trend. Marami pa rin pong challenges. We are recovering from the pandemic. We have war. So lahat po na yan nakaka-apekto. So yung ibang strategy po ng gobyerno, hindi lamang po sa Pilipinas, kundi sa ibang bansa, ay yung pag-manage ng impact ng mga negative effects na to, katulad ng pagtataas ng interest rate para ma-manage ang inflation. So yun po, hindi unique. At tama po kayo, tama po si Colonel Querubin, na isang malaking determinant din po ng economic growth, economic development, ang peace and order. Kaya napakalaking impact din po niyan. At medyo circular po yan eh. Kapag nag-deteriorate ang economy, hindi gumaganda ang buhay, may epekto po yan. Nagkakaroon tayo ng negative effects sa peace and order. So on our part, sa part po ng Department of Finance, sinusubukan talaga natin na magkaroon ng sapat na revenue ang government para mapagpatuloy na matustusan yung mga pangunahing pangangailangan at responsibilidad ng pamahalaan sa taong bayan para po magkaroon ng magandang hanap buhay, makapagkaroon ng mas maraming investors, mabigyan natin ng sapat na pondo para masustain natin ang ating free education, ma-improve ang healthcare system. Lahat po na yan na ginagawa natin upang...
May tanong may journalist na tanong pala dito. Would the Department of Finance next time consult retiree military officer leaders like Colonel Ariel Querubin, kasi kulang yata ang consultation with the retired? Would you be open to that?
Yes po,
when you finalize your reforms?
Wala pong problema doon. Ang nagkataon lang po, dahil nung binalangkas po yung current proposal, nagkaroon na po ng agreement sa economic managers na no touch. Wala pong pagbabago sa pensyon ng
So you agree? You agree
no
with
touch po
Colonel status
mga,
quo? You agree?
Sa mga retired.
So the existing retired
Yes.
soldiers and officers, hindi marireduce ang
gagalawin.
benefits.
Yes po.
Promise niyo yan.
Yes po, yun po yung nasa draft na batas
Nasa
na
draft talaga.
sinusuportahan ng Department of Finance. So if you're retired already, wala
Don't
pong
worry.
bago. Yes.
Kasi magagalit si Colonel sa'yo, ha?
Yes, and we even agree that we will keep the indexation for the retired. Yes, so
Yes.
kapag pumasa to, may adjustment
Hindi,
pa nga siya.
hindi
Kasi-
mahirapan. Oo.
So for the retired, ano po yun, we agree, that's their vested right and we don't want to reduce the vested right. So wala pong pagbabago sa pensyon ng mga retired. Sa active po, parehas pa rin po yun, same benefits. Kung mag-early retirement, immediately you will receive your, ang pinag-uusapan lang po talaga, paano natin i-manage kung saan kukuhanin yung pondo para tustusan tong mga pension na to. So, nandun na po tayo sa, I think, very pragmatic solutions to these very specific problems. Medyo papunta na tayo sa mga konkretong solusyon.
Anong comment niyo daw sa concern ni Colonel Ariel sa sundalo? Kasi may nagtanong dito na he is one of the top retired military officers na siyempre very popular and admired, doing well in the private sector as consultant, pero still passionate about the retirees. Anong comment niyo na he's parang fighting for their
Sabi ko
welfare?
nga
Anong
po,
comment niyo sa kanyang klaseng
Sabi ko nga po,
attitude?
I'm a fan.
Yes.
Bihirang-bihira po yung mga tao na komportable na sa buhay.
Will come out to
Yes,
talk for the
lumalabas
others.
Para pag-usapan, tumulong, hanapan ng
Not
solusyon
personal.
ang mga problema ng lipunan. So,
Yes, yes.
kaya sabi ko nga po, it's an honor to be here.
You're
And
beside
I'm also
a living
fan.
hero.
Yes.
Diba, National Heroes Day lang a few
And
days
in
ago.
fact, if a lot of people will emulate what Colonel Querubin is
Yun
doing,
nga.
diba? We
Diba?
don't think of ourselves. We think of what we can do for our country.
Yes.
We will be in a much, much better position.
Kagabi nga, hindi ako natulog na maaga kasi binasa ko life story ni Colonel. Akala ko kilala ko na sila. Siyempre socially, nami-meet ko sila through the years. Doon binasa ko details ng story nila. Pang movie. So, doon na nga ako si Yusek na under Secretary Ben Diokno, na maybe we should invite him to talk here again about the economy naman. Yes. So thank you for, we'd like to, may mga maraming isang questions pa, pero, yes, baka we'd like to request pala a closing statement from Colonel Ariel Quirubin and Yusek. Siguro Yusek muna, and then the final would be si Colonel Ariel Quirubin to summarize your appeal again and your wishes for the country. Yusek, maybe you could summarize your thoughts on the welfare of not only Colonel Quirubin and Colonel Alejandro Flores, but the 250,000 retired soldiers who fought for the country.
Unang-una po, maraming salamat. Sabi ko nga po, tinake advantage po talaga natin to na magkaroon ng diskusyon with Colonel Quirubin dahil naniniwala tayo na sa konkretong concern tungkol sa military and uniform personnel pension concerns, makakahanap tayo ng konkretong solusyon with Colonel Quirubin. Katulad po ng nabanggit ko at maraming salamat sa opportunity, nililinaw para po sa mga retired military and uniform pensioners, wala pong pagbabago sa benepisyo. Nandyan pa rin po yung ating indexation. Nandyan pa rin
Final
po,
na ba yung bill?
hindi
The
po,
reform?
dinidiscuss pa po. So,
Right
kailangan
now.
po natin,
Nasa Kongreso,
nasa
Senado?
Congress po. Congress.
Dapat consultant
Yes.
dapat ibitahin si Colonel doon.
So kung agree na po kami, pwede po nating sabihin na nagsusuportan, nagkaisa na.
Na hindi na kayo against sa
nagkaisa ng economic team at ang ano.
Yes.
So yun po, so, sa mga retired, walang pagbabago, same pension. Sa mga active, parehas din po. If you're gonna do optional retirement, you will immediately receive your benefits. The package of benefits will not change either.
Pantay si Colonel Ariel.
Ang request lang nga namin doon ay yung indexation sana. Baka pwede na nating sundot-sundutin ng kaunti para ma-adjust natin ng mas maigi yung base pay ng ating military and uniform personnel. Ganun din po, may epekto yon positively when you retire. Mas malaki yung inyong pension.
Sino sa Kongreso in charge of this?
Si Congressman Joey Salceda
Uy,
po.
suki namin dito yan.
So, siya po. Tapos, yun lang po yung hiling natin on the side. Yung pong sinusulong nating reforma, kinikilala po nito ang kontribusyon ng paglilingkod sa bayan ng ating military and uniform personnel. And in fact, yun po yung basehan kung bakit gusto natin magkaroon ng sustainable pension fund. Kasi ayaw natin silang mapunta sa sitwasyon na dahil tayo ay may fiscal crisis, hindi natin mabigay yung pensyon ng ating military and uniform
Hindi niya
personnel.
sacrifice people like Colonel Quirubin.
Yeah, so we
And
want
this-
to make sure that when they retire, they have their pension and they will receive their pension immediately and with the correct amount.
Kung di, mapatayan kayo ni...
So yun po, yun po yung ating panawagan. Pero yun po, hindi po natin yun magagawa kung annually, kukuhanin natin yung budget from the general fund. So binabalik lang po natin yung sistema na kung saan ito ay maging contributory. So yun lang po yung hiling natin on the side of the economic team. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Yusek Magno. Now we'd like to request si Colonel Ariel Quirubin to summarize his appeal on behalf of retirees and the soldiers now, 400 plus thousand soldiers and 250,000 retirees of the Philippines na military personnel. Colonel Ariel Quirubin.
Yeah, maraming salamat, Wilson. Maraming salamat po, Ma'am Shelo. At sabi nga niyo lahat lahat naman ng problema o lahat ng pwedeng pag-usapan sa mesa. Pwede naman tayong to arrive at a consensus. Or kung gusto rin natin, may agree to disagree, pero wala tayong solusyon. Alam po ninyo, nakikinig lang ako sa paliwanag po ni Yusek Shelo kanina. Maganda ho lahat yung ipanaliwanag niya. Ang tingin ko palagay, hindi kasi nag-cascade ito, lalo na sa mga pensioners or even sa active ba. Kailangan siguro uli masusi na consultation para at least they'll arrive at a consensus na agreeable o acceptable sa both parties. Sa narinig ko nga kanina, ang ganda rin na proposal na instead na itataas mo yung salary, itaas mo yung benepisyo. at pribilehyo ng mga nasa sa mga sundalo, yung mga men in uniform. Napakaganda po na kung matutuloy ito kasi kahit papano ito ho yung partly makakasolve naman ng problema ng nung pangangailangan nila. At lahat po na nakikinig sa inyo, maraming salamat po at inuulit ko po yung posisyon po ni Secretary Chodoro na lumalabas po ngayon, yun din po yung aking posisyon. Kung whatever, kung ano yung mga kinalabasan nito, yun nga, sabi ko, napapag-usapan po yan. Pwede hong pag-usapan, pwede hong mag-agree naman, no? Kasi after all, lahat kahit na sa mga gulo 'di ba? May mga negotiations, may nangyayari to arrive at a very acceptable solution. So maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you very much to the outstanding military officer, the most bemedaled soldier, former Marine Colonel Ariel Quirubin, for your passion for the soldiers and the military retirees. Thank you very much to Undersecretary of Finance, Dr. Shelo Magdom. Bata kayo to have a PhD. Akala ko mga may PhD, matanda na. Sobra kayo. May bata sa TV, ayun, bata pa, mataas na yun. Grade. Bata. So, thank you very much for defending our defenders, for defending our military retirees, our soldiers. Hindi na pala nakwento yung military exploits nyo. In the future, we'll have another session to talk about modernization of the military, which is long overdue. I think we have the weakest military in ASEAN. Sabi nila, one of the weakest now. Si Colonel Ariel Quirubin is very passionate about national and public issues. Sir, we have a tradition here. Doesn't matter whether you are ambassadors, movie star, or presidential candidates. Lahat tayo may humble gift of pandesal. Thank you for speaking. Tayo ba? Nakaupo. Sige, tayo. Yes. Yes. Thank you to Colonel Ariel Quirubin. It's very rare to be beside a hero kasi wala na si Jose Rizal at General Antonio Luna. Pero ito, actual, hindi. And a very young Undersecretary of Finance. Thank you for joining Pandesal Forum. Thank you.